getting on this app and just seeing us spew hatred.
A kid gets bullied for 4 years, all 4 years of high school. Get to graduation, and the bully approaches the kid for one final punch. Bully rears back, and before he can get the punch off, the other kid, right in the face, knocks him out. Bunch of students rush over. The bully comes to, and the kids say to both of them, "I just hate seeing us fight. We need to do better. I'm so sick and tired." And the kid that knocked the bully out is saying, "Where have y'all been for 4 years? This is the first punch I've thrown in years." Likewise, ladies, you have bullied black men for decades. And finally, black men have stood our ground, amplified our voice, and pushed back. And now you want to talk about how sick and tired of you are about us and we and this hate. It's a you
problem. The way patriarchy is set up, it's man versus man, right? It's man versus man. And in man versus man, whoever wins the war, you don't just win the resource war, you win the culture war too. You win the religious war too. You win the identity war too. So the losing male is absorbed into your culture, and everything about that other man's culture disappears. Their history, their gods, their land disappears, their women disappear, and they are absorbed into the winning man's system. So in patriarchy, in man versus man, if a group of men openly on the world stage says that for decades the women in his group have been bullying him on the world stage with other men watching, right? And these men have said they was kicked out the house for welfare. These men have openly admitted that they are being bullied. These men are traveling around the world telling this story to people that don't even live in America about these specific women. But what does it look like to the other men that are competing with these group of men that are saying that they are being bullied? So if you've been bullied for decades, what you been doing this whole time? Just being quiet, just taking it, just sucking it up, right? Not just that. If you're pushing back now from being bullied, right? And now you got the microphone and you are talking to the women, and your pushback is to say, well, I'm going to go pick another woman, and I want a woman that's feminine, fit, and friendly, and if you don't get to my program, we're not going to protect you, right? That's your pushback from being bullied by women. What is the pushback for being bullied by the Spanish, the French, the Portuguese, and the English? What's the pushback for Trayvon Martin? I'm not even going to go down that street. What's the pushback for Emmett Till, right? Like, there have been open, right, smoke from other groups of men towards black men, like open smoke, right? Now, nowadays it's more sophisticated, where the smoke is not necessarily physical combat, but more of a mental combat, right? More of an intellect combat. And it's open competition. Winner takes all. But these men are saying that they're being bullied by women. It's over. It's over. It's a wrap. No smoke for the dudes. And now the playing field is different, because it's not about brawn. It's about who got the best mind. And there are men in open competition with other men competing about who got the best ideals to move humanity forward. And the world is going to go with the best ideals. And there's a seat at that global table that is not going to be filled by a certain group of men. And the reason for that is because he is fighting with the woman that he said for decades has been bullying him, and he hasn't said nothing, and he has sucked it up, and he has took it. It's over. It's over.
So I decided that I was going to do a response to this video. I listened to the whole thing, and I get what he's saying, but he seemed like he's kind of stumbling in what he's saying. He's saying, black men have all this smoke for their women and none for the culture that has been against them since we've been here. And here's what I have to say about that. A kingdom starts with a family, but a family starts with a man. In order to fight another kingdom, when you have no kingdom, you must start with building the man himself, meaning building him up, making sure that he's in line, he's in order, right? The next step is to find a woman to build a family. Then after that, raise children, have children, raise children, and create those children to be formidable against the things that we stand against in this country in order to be able to win the war, because while we are not in our state of, how can I put it, a war readiness at our ages, as having children and starting the process of building a kingdom, our children should be, right? Then once you have a family, then those families come together and they pull together their resources, their abilities, their, everything that they have to offer to form a kingdom. Now this kingdom has to be ideologically, sociologically, psychologically, etc. All the beliefs that are necessary in order for people to be on one accord in a kingdom, right? Then we can mount the war. This is the recipe. This is the recipe for fighting a kingdom with the kingdom, right? Now we're at a point where the men are starting to get themselves together. More and more every day we come to this resolution that we need to become better as men, right? And there are some who may not, want to jump aboard, and there are some that are still lagging behind, that are still in the process of becoming actual men. But they're coming, right? But for the ones who've already arrived, we're looking for mates. We're looking for women to have families with. Because remember again, there is no kingdom without family. And firstly, there's no kingdom without man, right? This is what he's saying in regards to how he's expressing, and both of the men are expressing themselves in this video. The man on the left is saying that we're making moves, we're voicing our opinions, but the man on the right has some pushback against that because he doesn't necessarily understand what's going on. What he's seeing is men choosing to select different options in regards to how they exist and the direction that we need to go as men in creating a kingdom. But firstly, remember again, that kingdom starts with the man. Okay, we got the man together. We've arrived. Secondly, it starts with a woman, right? And in this selection, you must select a woman who wants to have a functional family, right? There was a woman that I ran across on some podcast. She says that she wanted to have a child, but she didn't want to be a wife. Now, I've seen this from a little girl saying this all the way up to a woman that appears to be in her 30s saying this. Not only is this broadcasted across social media for everyone to see, it's no secret. That's exactly what's happening. Look around you. Look around you. In a world of choice, your existence is based upon what you choose. Right? Any man who has created himself knows this to be true. I mean, there are women who ideally say they want to be a family, but I take this as nothing more than moral signaling. This is nothing more than a woman suggesting that she has some type of virtue when in all actuality, she's probably really debased. But in order to be accepted by society and the herd, she has to put on this face of, yes, I care about men. Yes, I care about, this and that. Yes, I care about family. But what do her actions say? I mean, we talk about this a lot in the manosphere here, especially in the black manosphere. We talk about a woman's actions, regardless of her words. What do the actions say? That 80% out of wedlock birth rate is saying something. Can you hear it? I can hear it. But now we live in a culture where people feel very emboldened to say exactly what they feel. You'll see more and more women coming to the forefront of the I don't need a man 2.0. They're going to say it in many different ways. And their lives will actually represent that as well. You'll see that. You are seeing that. But we as men, we have a job to do because the man on the right is correct. We do have to have a response for this, for the things that have happened. But what he's not understanding is we are responding. We're making choices. We're making moves. We're not just talking. We're actually doing things. Regardless of if anyone wants to acknowledge them or not, it's not up to them because we know who we stand against. We stand against a culture and a people and a lot of other entities who mean us harm, who don't want to see us prosper. Of course, they're going to have horrible things to say about us. They've always have. When have they ever said anything good about us? Even from our own women. We see it on social media. We see it. We've been seeing it for the past, from our own women, How many years? I remember growing up in the 90s watching this crap. The debasement of black men in regards to not necessarily their actions, but their character. Telling the world that they are these type of men, when actually more and more evidence is coming out that we are showing up and we are improving and we are making different choices. So to answer the guy on the right's question, where is all the smoke? We're preparing. We're preparing. But remember again, first it starts with man. Then it starts with woman. We have to create a healthy family in order to build a kingdom. And that's what we're doing. We're selecting very different women than the ones that stand against us. The one that pretends that she's for family, but is looking for child support, or is looking for alimony, or is looking for some big payoff in a short amount of time in regards to her relation to her own men. that is looking to subjugate and constantly put her foot on his neck and prevent him from achieving the collection of these families that thus forms the kingdom. We're doing things different. So, to answer his question, how are we preparing? What are we doing? We're selecting different women.